welcome to Stories Behind the Songs. It's been a really long time since I last did one of these or even released music, and I think I fell out of love with it for a while and took a break. But I've been revisiting old songs, and I found this one and sort of reflected on it, rewrote it a little bit, and decided that it was time to release this. So this is The Land of Broken Toys. So the name of this song is The Land of Broken Toys. The working title was originally Island of Misfit Toys, which was an expression I heard in a film, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I recommend you check out. And it really spoke to me. It spoke to this idea of wanting to be part of the cool clique at school, but feeling that you were only accepted by the uncool people, the misfits, which was something that was definitely something that I went through in high school. And the song is from the perspective of me now, older, wiser, hopefully, more evolved, hopefully, and just speaking to the younger self. And I would say that I wish this is what somebody had told me, but I think people did tell me this. I think my family told me this, but when you're a teen, or at least me, you just tend not to listen to them. You just tend to reject everything they say. So this is a reflection of my past self from my older self, and what I would tell her if I could.
So in verse 1, we begin with the idea of your best friend getting invited to the party or getting the guy, but basically your best friend getting what you want, and that's a very painful experience, and it's happened to me many times. I had Friday nights where everybody would be talking about the party that they're looking forward to, and I would be thinking that I'm just going to go home and eat pizza and watch a movie with my parents. And it's just really painful when you're a teen, because I mean, now that's the coolest thing ever, to go home and have dinner and movie with your parents. But when you were a teen, far from it, and you'd like look at pictures of the party and you wouldn't be invited. Then we go to the pre-chorus where I imagine it's the time when you go to bed and all your whole guard is down and there's no one to pretend to anymore, and you realize you have to face your demons. You realize that you've been lying to people when you say that you've got plans this weekend, and you can't lie to yourself. That's the hardest part. So you have to come to terms with the fact that you actually have nothing going on and you are not invited, not because you didn't want to be, but because you're just not one of them.
So one thing as a huge fan of Taylor Swift that I've always loved that she does is a twist in her choruses, where the final chorus is a little bit of a twist to the first two and speaks to something a bit different. So I've done that in this one. But in the first chorus, as this is a song from a point of view of me now older and hopefully wiser, speaking to the younger me, it's me telling the younger me, I can see you. I can see you're lonely, so I'm inviting you in. Come join us. And this is what I wish I had listened to at the time when I was a kid, and I would have had so much more fun. And one of the visuals I used for this song was one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion, Toy Story. That heartbreaking scene in the first one where Jessie's owner takes her and dumps her, and she leaves her because she's too old to play with toys. So this was the idea that I had while I was writing this chorus. So my aim with the second verse was to communicate the idea of the longing that I felt when I was at home on Friday night, and everybody had been talking about the party all day, and they were now at the party, and I knew that there'd be photos, and I knew that on Monday that was all they were going to talk about. And just to be a part of the glamorous world and the dressing up. And my mum used to comfort me. She used to try and comfort me, and she used to say things like, they're all suffering in one way or another. they, you know, they cry, they feel low self-esteem, and that just made me feel worse. As I feel as a teen, you often reject your parents' comforting because it just feels like, so they're all suffering, but they are so good at acting and they're still invited and I'm not. So that just was even worse. So the line, yeah, for me it's all sunshine and rainbows, was this rejection, this that I had in my head, where you wouldn't say it outright to your parents for fear of getting in trouble, but you would think things like, yeah, okay, whatever, mum. And one thing I really, really hate, and teens absolutely hate, is when adults say it's just a phase, they'll outgrow it. And part of you, a bit of a resentful sort of rebellious part of you says, you know what, I'm not going to outgrow it just because you said that. One thing I really like about Taylor Swift is her ability to, in the beginning of her career, she used to name names in songs, and I feel that the specificity and the making the song more personal made it more relatable and more universal somehow. So John is a real person, and my love for Elmo was very prevalent back then and is very prevalent now. So in this bridge, the twist gets revealed in the sense that so far you've been the younger person talked to by the older person who's narrating the song, and they're so wise and they know everything, and you would never think that they have ever felt the way you have. So you kind of reject their comforting, as I used to reject my mum's comforting. But you realize in the pre-chorus that they say that they were there too. That's why they understand you. And this is where it comes full circle, because you realize that that person who you thought was so wise and so much, so above any such silly ambitions as you had, was actually just as human as you and was a kid once themselves and went through exactly what you're going through. So the final chorus is what I wish had happened. I wish that when somebody had told me that I'd much rather live life without being afraid of being myself, and I had listened and been part of the group that wanted me, I would have had so much more fun. So I guess it's an attempt at rewriting my past in which I actually listened and I actually joined the group that wanted me. Unfortunately, it wasn't that way, but I got to know my mum really well, and we're very good friends, so it's okay. Just a final point is that in the second verse, originally I had a more explicit lyric that I was considering doing. When you're talking back to your mum in your head, it was going to be your life's fucking sunshine and rainbows. And the reason I thought that that was a lyric that I wanted to do was because when you're a teen, you're sort of not allowed to swear, especially out loud to your parents, so you think it often in your head, and you also, because you're banned, you desire it more. It's kind of cool to swear. So that was sort of the idea of that second verse. I wonder what you think of that, whether it should have been that, and just what you think of swearing in songs in general. I think, for me, I think that no word should be banned. You know, we shouldn't sanitize songs if the F word actually makes the song better. Sometimes it enhances the song. Thank you for watching and staying with me, and I hope you listen to the song and tell me how you feel about it, and any feedback is muchly appreciated. Thank you so much.